The information shared on the Self-Care with Jean Edelman podcast, including the Kitchen with Jean series, is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor or qualified healthcare professional before beginning any diet or nutrition plan to ensure it is appropriate for your individual health needs and circumstances.
Hi, I'm Jean Edelman. For decades, I've been a student of the healing arts: Reiki, traditional Chinese medicine, homeopathy, acupuncture, plant-based, and macrobiotic cooking. Join me on this journey and hear my thoughts of the week. Welcome to the kitchen. The kitchen is where we gather to learn, to love, to grow, and to share about food and life. Just a little background. I'm the oldest of four. My father's family is from County Longford in Ireland. My grandmother was one of 16 children. She came to the United States when she was 16 years old. She had various jobs, met my grandfather, and raised my dad and my uncle in Queens, New York. My mother, her family's from Monte Calvo, Italy, which is right outside of Naples. She is one of 7 and lived in Brooklyn, New York. Both my grandmothers were wonderful influencers to my exposure to food. My Irish grandmother would whip up dinners for 40 people in her tiny little kitchen in Queens, New York. My Italian grandmother would take us to the market every Saturday. There was a baker, there was a butcher, the chicken store. There were vegetable stands. The food was fresh. We would make homemade pasta. We'd spend all day preparing and cooking for the family that was gathering on Sunday. Sunday dinner was precious. It was aunts and uncles and cousins and friends, and we would sit for hours and talk and eat and just be together, and it was wonderful. My mother cooked, my father cooked. My dad, he always made these very wonderful lunches. And so I consider myself very fortunate that my family and food stories include people that loved to cook. I do want to share, I didn't always have a healthy relationship with food. When my hormones hit during my tweens, I did not understand my body. I didn't understand why I was getting heavy. I didn't understand exercise. I didn't understand movement. All of this led to food issues, food insecurity. And it truthfully was college before I could get it all under control and understand what was going on. And that's when I decided to study nutrition. So fast forward to adulthood, I started seeing my family members ill and dying from heart disease and strokes. And I wanted a different health story for myself. When my sister-in-law became ill with breast cancer, her sister-in-law is a macrobiotic chef and teacher. And she taught my sister-in-law, and then my sister-in-law taught me everything she was learning. We went to conferences together. We had cooking classes together. It was wonderful. I found a wonderful piece of myself, a wonderful piece of my food puzzle in macrobiotic cooking and macrobiotic lifestyle. But it's not for everybody. But I want to share some of the highlights that I learned because I find them just so fascinating and just so different from my Irish and Italian background and my Irish and Italian cooking and my American cooking. And it just really opened up my eyes. So the first thing that I learned when I was learning about macrobiotic cooking was that food can be medicine and it can help us discharge the years of sugar, eating meat, poultry, dairy, eating processed foods. This was fascinating to me. I couldn't learn enough about that. The second thing I learned is that seasonal cooking, seasonal eating, seasonal vegetables, just the seasons. I mean, sure, winter, summer, fall, spring, I got it. But it's so much deeper. There's so much more when it comes to our food and our health and our body and our body clock. There's just so much to dive into and learn about. And then I was learning healthier cooking styles. I was learning about steaming and blanching and water sauteing my vegetables. And I was also learning about traditional Chinese medicine. And all this just clicked for me. But I want to share it with you. It was a wonderful journey. It is a wonderful journey. It is wonderful to continue to learn about our food, our body, our moods, and how it's all connected. So what does this mean? It just means that we all have our own story and we all have our own food journey. And you know what? It's all okay. Everybody, it's all okay. Our food journey, because you know what? Today is a new day. Today we get to take and begin with baby steps towards better health and well-being. It can be helpful if we can find a sense of comfort in the kitchen, and it can be helpful if we find comfort in cooking for ourselves, and it can be helpful if we find comfort in being an advocate for our health. But let me share a little bit more about my why and why I went down this path and why I continue to learn. Because we all need strong whys. And a lot of times our why changes when we have a health event. But as I'm going to share with you, my why is about preventative. And you know what? We can do as much as we can to prevent. But if you've followed my podcast, I have had many health events. And as much as we try to prevent, well, it's all still going to happen because there's learning in all of it. I wanted to do as much as I could to change my own health story. And I do believe that even though I've had health events since I've changed my diet and lifestyle, I do believe that I have recovered quicker, faster, and I stayed strong through the whole event. So there is an upside to changing and being more aware of what we're eating and how it's affecting our health. So again, my why, preventative. I wanted my own health story, and I didn't want to follow into my family's health story, which was a lot of heart and stroke disease. So I know you're saying, oh, well, we're all going to die. We're all going to pass on. We all have finite time on this earth. I know it. But my wish for myself and my wish for you, which is why I'm sharing, is that we have a life of health. We have a life that does not have a lot of aches and pains in our day. Because I think that if we could have a broader perspective and understand a little bit more about our food and understand a little bit more about plant-based food and having this broader perspective and understanding our bodies and understanding energy, we could have some more health in our day. And it's just baby steps. It's an apple over a cheeseburger or something like that, just something simple. It's about healthier choices. And so in the kitchen, I want to take you on this journey. I want to share my journey and all the awesome things that I've learned. And maybe they'll resonate with you. Maybe they won't. It's okay. But what I want to do is I want to break down the topics so we can understand them in little bites and understand that food and cooking and incorporating good health and good habits in our day can give us a good, happy, healthy life. So join me the first and third Thursday of every month, and we're going to gather in the kitchen. We're going to break this down. We're going to learn together. We're going to laugh together. And I hope we're going to have a healthier and happier life. So have a great week. I'll see you next week. We're going to have some great new topics. We're going to dive deeper. Remember, we're in Earth School. We're always learning. We're learning about love, to love ourselves, to love each other. And we need to remember that life comes from us and life is for us. And so even if we're working real hard to eat well and exercise and take time for ourselves and have good self-care, there's going to be bumps in the road. But as long as we understand that there's learning in it, it's all good. Hey, I also wanted to mention, this month I've got something special for you. Head over to selfcarewithjean.com/downloads and grab this month's extra content from the kitchen. I'm sharing a delicious and nourishing recipe for kabocha squash soup. perfect for warming us up and fueling us on our daily journey. So grab a free download, and I hope you enjoy it. Next time on The Kitchen, we're going to talk about acid and alkaline and how it affects our health. Look forward to seeing you on March 20 next time on The Kitchen. Have a great week. I'm happy to be introducing The Kitchen, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care.